My 60-year-old dad went on a 4-month bender with a colleague from work. Now his life is pretty much over. Last Friday, I found out my dad cheated on my mom. It's been a whirlwind of emotions, especially since my dad has always been a good guy. I'm still grappling with how to handle my relationship with him moving forward. I can't say goodbye entirely yet, but I'm not sure how often I'll want to see him after this. My mom, 58, found out randomly this Friday, but she had suspicions of an affair. She told me today as I was on a holiday. Turns out he was doing a lot of shit with her. Sometimes we think with multiple women. She'll take everything, and she earns 10x more than him anyway. She told their friends and his mom, my grandma. He's a very fun guy to be around and has golden retriever energy. He was a very decent guy until this thing, loved by many. We knew he was flirtatious, but nothing like this would cross our minds. I too felt he was acting strange for the past 2-3 months, even through WhatsApp and FaceTime. His life has now drastically changed. I just sent him a final voicemail saying he needs to accept this turn of events and focus on the next week, month, and year and build a new life and marry his GF. You know, I just can't fathom how someone would destroy their lives like this at the age of fucking 60 when they had everything, when you had a wife who would say nothing even when she's earning 10x more than you. That insane turn of events. I don't know if I can say goodbye to him. Maybe I'll meet with him once every 6 months if he picks up his life. Edit. My mom's calming down as she told me and MIL today after bottling up for 2 days. The die is cast. Apparently, he's now with his sister and Bill, and my grandma will be with them too come morning. 2 of his closest male friends from their circle, while disgusted and a bit distant, are guiding him. He is fully cooperative with the divorce. I will talk to him after the papers are signed to let him know where we stand and ask him to get a checkup. I think my mom will be okay, and my dad will not hurt himself. My 83-year-old grandma is now calm too, I think. Thank you everyone for pitching in. Relevant comments. Commenter. Sudden changes in personality and judgment are one of early signs of dementia. My mom ended up divorcing my dad out of nowhere and went to hang out with some bird photographer out of completely nowhere at age 58. In the following years, her mind crumbled. She became violent and extremely aggressively insulting until we got her to care against her wishes. Even after the divorce and cheating, my dad took her back in and took care of her as long as he could until she had to be admitted to round-the-clock care. Please, if it came from nowhere, have him checked for memory-related illnesses, Alzheimer's being most likely. Early diagnosis and medication can give 10 extra good years. My mom didn't get those. Commenter. Very similar thing happened to our family. Turned out he had a brain tumor and died horribly 9 months later. Basically died alone since nobody would forgive what he did. Edit. Nobody knew about it until a month before he passed. Even him. Way too late to do anything. Commenter. Yeah, reading through this, it crossed my mind that OP's dad might have some sort of neurological issue, brain tumor, affecting his behavior and executive functioning. Obviously, we can't diagnose such a thing as armchair Redditors, but it seems possible. Story 2. Ada for not letting my brother attend our family's holiday because of his fiance's cultural beliefs. I, 30F, Any my brother, 28M, has been dating his fiancée, 26F, for about 2 years. She's a great person, kind, smart, and loves him, but our families couldn't be more different. Our family is laid back and loud, and our holiday celebration is the highlight of the year. It's a big deal for us, with lots of food, drinks, dancing, and games. We go all out, and it's the one time we all come together to have fun without judgment. But my brother's fiancée comes from a conservative religious background with strict dietary and cultural rules. She doesn't eat pork, shellfish, or anything non-halal. She also doesn't drink alcohol or participate in dancing or games, which are core parts of our celebration. Last year, she joined us for the first time, and it was uncomfortable. My mom made separate dishes without pork or shellfish, and we toned down the drinking, but she still seemed out of place. She didn't eat much, didn't engage in conversation, and spent most of the evening sitting quietly while we celebrated. My brother looked tense the entire time, and the vibe felt off, like we were walking on eggshells. This year, my brother called me asking for more changes. He wants us to have a completely dry holiday. No alcohol, no pork, no shellfish, and to make the atmosphere more respectful by skipping the loud music and dancing. He said it's about making her feel comfortable and included, and that it's just one day, so why can't we make the sacrifice? I told him while I respect her beliefs, this is our family tradition, and changing everything for one person isn't fair to the rest of us. This holiday has been the same for decades, and it means a lot to us too. He got upset, saying that by refusing, I was excluding them and being disrespectful. I reminded him that we already made compromises last year, but she still didn't seem happy, so how far are we expected to go? I even suggested they do their own thing this year and we could catch up after, but he blew up, accusing me of pushing them out of the family. Now he's threatening not to come at all, and it's causing a major rift. Some of our family members think we should just go along with the changes to keep the peace, while others agree with me that it's unreasonable to ask everyone to completely overhaul our traditions for one person, especially when she doesn't seem to want to meet us halfway. My mom is caught in the middle and just wants everyone to get along, but no matter what, someone is going to be upset. Honestly, I don't want to exclude my brother, but I also don't want our holiday to feel like something it's not. Why should we have to change our entire tradition? They knew what our family was like when they got together, and while I'm all for respecting different cultures, I think there has to be some compromise on both sides. My brother is making it seem like I'm being stubborn, but I think I'm just trying to protect something that's important to us. So, now tell me ATA or NTA? Relevant comments, commenter, NTA. It's absurd and entitled to think that a long-standing family event, which only happens once a year and when everyone gets to enjoy being together, should change 180 degrees for 10, 20 people who look forward to it and enjoy it as is for years to accommodate one person. The math isn't mathing. Your family compromised, it seems happily, last year to make her feel as welcome as possible. Yes, she should meet you halfway. Yes, she should accept and appreciate the individually made food and lowered music done all for her comfort. Anyone who thinks a family tradition should be utterly changed for handfuls of people to accommodate one new person is entitled, selfish, and disrespectful, and most concerning of all, not actually interested in developing a relationship with the group that will become her second family. I have friends and extended family who are halal, apologies if that should be capitalized, kosher, and even not religious things that affect their ability to eat or be around certain things, gluten-free, sensitive to sensory overload, etc. You can appreciate that people want you there by compromising. You can express how you want to be there by appreciating what they've done, or bringing your own food if you wish, or taking a break while there, or even choosing to sit this event out. But when that someone demands a complete overhaul, too many red flags to count, and they're not even married yet. OP, I appreciate your perspective and completely agree that making changes for the sake of compromise is important, but it should definitely be a two-way street. We really did try last year to make adjustments, so she'd feel welcome without completely losing what makes the holiday special for the rest of the family. It's not like we were unwilling to bend at all, it just felt like we'd already done quite a bit. And now they're asking us to go even further. It's tough, because I want them to feel included, but asking everyone to change so much for one person when we've all looked forward to this for years feels unfair. It's a delicate balance, and I just wish there was a way to make everyone happy without it feeling like we're sacrificing our entire tradition. Commenter, what would her family say if your brother visited and demanded the drink, eat pork, and get merry because it's his family tradition for decades? They'd say, fuck no. Just because it's tied to religion doesn't make it more valid than your own family values. Commenter, religion doesn't give someone the right to put themselves first in every situation. Religious individuals who make everything about themselves often display a sense of entitlement that disregards others' feelings. Story 3. AI Ida for telling my sister I don't want my kids to be anything like her. My sister, 27F, like many siblings occasionally digs for a hurtful thing to say to me, 25F, when she is pissed, embarrassed, or just feeling spiteful. Her recent dig has been to make sarcastic comments, implying I would be a shitty mom and that my future hypothetical kids would suffer having me as a mom. Most of the time, I just ignore it. This is often in response to me not catering sufficiently to her anxiety. Everybody in my family suffers from some kind of anxiety or depression. As a result, I feel that my parents especially tend to coddle. My mom will still book appointments for my sister because she doesn't like making phone calls. My dad will talk to waitstaff on her behalf, etc. I used to have a very similar level of anxiety to my sister, but since moving out, getting into adult relationships, having a job, this has greatly improved. My sister has never held a job for more than a few months, and it has been years since her last job because of her anxiety. She lives at home with our parents. Today we were traveling together as a family, and the two of us went out to get some snacks at a supermarket. She abruptly got extremely edgy and wanted to leave immediately. Because of her anxiety, she won't go anywhere alone, so this meant I had to leave immediately. I refused because from what I could tell, the thing that was making her anxious was simply two men who spoke a foreign language existing sort of near her. They were not interacting with her in any way, not looking at her, not in her space, nothing, just chatting to each other and buying some groceries. I checked out my stuff at a normal pace, and she made a snarky comment about how she hopes I don't have children because I clearly wouldn't give a shit about their safety. I said verbatim, I know you say stuff like that because you think it hurts me, but why on earth would you think that I want to enable my kids like the way our parents have enabled you? I don't want them to turn out anything like you. She got incredibly upset and burst into tears, and I got scolded by our parents and other siblings for being cruel when she was already scared and upset. I did not apologize, and she has not apologized to me. Aita, I feel like I was just being honest in response to something clearly meant to hurt and upset me. Relevant comments. Commenter. NTA, she's not a child to behave that way. Claiming she felt unsafe just because two people existing in the universe next to her were speaking in a foreign language is racist and unacceptable. Plus, the unkind remarks towards you were uncalled for. If she can't take it, she shouldn't dish it. Commenter. NTA. It's time to keep LC with your family, don't you think? These toxic people will only drag you down. Also, I love your reaction to your brat sister. It's mature and shows you and your family are not on the same level. Commenter. NTA. What a perfect answer. Good for you, OP, for standing up to her. I have similar anxiety, and I also don't like taking phone calls and talking to waitstaff and ordering room service, etc., as my palms immediately start sweating. I push through. I also get therapy when it becomes too much to handle, and I'm never mean to anyone who's trying to accommodate me. Your sister should stop with her entitlement and mean streak and start being grateful to you for accommodating her. Story 4. Ada for telling my mom my husband isn't a babysitter. My husband and I live about 4 hours away from my sister, husband, and her 2 kids, 13F and 12M. They lost power this week due to the hurricane and won't get it back until next Saturday. My sister asked my mom if she can bring my niece and nephew to stay with her this week, and she agreed. She is going to meet my sister halfway now to get them. We are supposed to be going to a wedding this week in another state, but my husband and son, 5, were staying home because it is too expensive for flights, and it is my cousin's wedding anyway, who he doesn't know well. It is also a child-free wedding. My sister was going to take her kids, and they were coming to the rehearsal party, but staying with another relative in the same city for the wedding night. My mom just called me and asked if my husband would watch the kids instead. My husband is hesitant because he has to work, has to get my son to school every day, and they would just be here. He is just uncomfortable doing it himself. I told my mother I can stay home and help him, but she is adamant I go. She doesn't see the big deal because they are teenagers that don't do anything, but that is not true. They always complain that they are bored constantly. I know it will be hard for him to handle all 3 for 3 days, plus the pets. My mother is pissed now because she doesn't understand why we are pushing back. She also got angry because I asked her if my sister knew she was calling me, and why won't she call me herself to ask? To which she replied, "Of course she does. What is the big deal?" My sister has enough money to change their flights to come out of our city instead, so I don't understand why we aren't keeping that plan. I just have a weird feeling she didn't want my mom to ask, and now I am split between my husband and mother. My husband is also annoyed because ever since we got married 4 years ago, she treats him like her own personal mechanic, IT support, you name it. She doesn't even ask, she just tells. And her reason is, of course, family helps each other. So Reddit, AITA for fighting for my husband and telling my mother no? Honestly, I don't even want to go to the wedding anymore because I won't have my husband with me when she inevitably talks about him pushing back to everyone she can there. She is retired and has nothing else to do but cause drama. Relevant comments. Commenter. NTA. If family helps each other, then family should listen to one another. You stated no and why. Don't cave. Drama is mom's pastime. Don't support this. Being older does not mean you get what you want from others. OP. Thank you. Her mother was very much the same way, so I think she believes it is her turn. My husband does not come from a family like this, so this is not normal for him. I honestly think if we ever get divorced, she will be one of the reasons. Commenter. Then you better grow a shiny backbone and stand by your husband on this. NTA for now, but YTA if you continue to allow your mother to treat her son-in-law as a servant. This is a generational trauma you can end. ETA for punctuation. Commenter. Don't let a user ruin your marriage. It's not normal to him. It's not fair nor loving to you or him. It's not fair to manipulate you, to manipulate him to her whims. Would you feel differently if your husband had a friend who treated you the same way your mom treats him? On-call AT support, etc. On-demand babysitting and stating, it's no big deal while caring for your child, 2 teens, 2 pets, and all house duties, etc. etc. It's valuable to see why she may act this way, but it's no excuse to use people and demean them. Sister is adopting her mom's behavior, so good luck creating strong, clear boundaries, or your life will be tumultuous when they meddle. Thank you for sticking around until the end. If you liked our videos, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to keep up with our latest content. Have a wonderful day.